Leaders in Internet media and the American-made movement. You're listening to Internet Radio America. Tonight on Internet Radio America, it's the Two-Wheel Meltdown. Mark Pavlik is in the house, and the call-in number tonight is 617-381-4700. And now, here is Mark.
Hello, folks. It is another edition of the Two-Wheel Meltdown. We're running a little late, technical difficulties, but, things happen. I won't say the S word tonight. I've done that twice over the last 6 weeks. This is our 6th week, our 6th show. Alongside of me, I got James Simonelli. You doing all right tonight, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Got my own mic. We're stepping it up tonight.
We're going big time, finally. Got a great show for you tonight. We have Gerry from Gerry's Bakery. He's actually in-house all the way from Germany. He yell, Gerry, yell. Say, hey! Yell. Let the folks hear you.
Hey, folks!
Ah, there we go. There's Gerry all the way from Germany. And, yes, this is still an American-made show. Gary's going to talk a little bit about what it's like to sell our American-made Baker transmissions over in Europe. And we also have Rogue coming on. Rogue is an industry icon. He's been around riding for 50 years, taking photos, so on and so forth, and goes to a lot of the shows. And we'll also be speaking to him right around 6:40 this evening. Before I forget, let's do the call-in question of the day. Again, the call-in number is 617-381-4700. And the question of the day is, what is the longest trip you have ever taken on two wheels? Mine personally, I think, was a trip down to Daytona. I don't know if it was the first part of the trip or the second part of the trip. I sure as shit didn't go the full ride in one round, but 600 miles or so. James, you done any better than 600 miles?
I have, as a matter of fact, I have, Mark.
Of course
done,
you have.
No. But I did an 1,100-mile day once. That's my best, just to prove it. I think that was from Richland Center, Wisconsin to Bloomsburg, PA, and man, did it hurt. It just was not fun, 600 miles a day, that's a good day, man. 1,000-mile day, I got nothing to prove anymore.
Gotcha. Did you at least do it on a bagger or something? You didn't do it on a rigid, did you?
No, I did it on a bagger. I'm not that tough.
The Iron Butts are out there, though, and if they're listening, give us a call. Tell us about that trip. If you headed from Canada down to Mexico or did what Don Wood's about to do. He's going from, the northernmost part of Alaska all the way down to the tip of South America or vice versa, right?
Yeah, sure thing.
And that'll actually get filmed, and he is using a Baker transmission. And so we're gonna be updating you on that through the course of his trip, and we'll keep you informed. Don Wood, if you don't know, was originally on the Moonshiners program, History Channel, was it not?
Yep. Yeah, History Channel. I spoke to Don today.
All right. And he's doing another program, and he's going to be using Baker products and other American manufacturers. He's building a bike all out of American-made products and going to take it from Alaska down to the tip of South America. So that'll be interesting. All right, folks, moving on in the show, we've got our tech tip of the day. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about inner primary races. We're talking about your bearing race that your primary bearing rides on. The race is pressed onto your transmission main shaft, and the primary bearing rides on that race. Now, this is a great setup if you're running a stock bike. As soon as you start putting a little horsepower to it, the first thing that wants to happen is that race wants to walk into the main drive gear. Once that happens, it takes out the seal. You're dumping oil all over the concrete. You don't know about it, and you're still rolling down the road, which can have the dramatic consequences. James, there's there's a couple of different fixes for this. So we would like to promote our high torque bearing kit, which replaces the race altogether. There's also an S&S tapered race, both of which are solid fixes, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, man. The high torque bearing kit in particular, because it's priced at $40, is the best bang for the buck, man. Take that race off, lose it, put that bearing in your primary, put the seal in, slide it on, and go down the road. It's a nice precision honed bearing. It's got a nice fit on the main shaft, and it just does the trick.
Yeah, buddy. And the other great thing about doing the high torque bearing kit, if for any reason you have to pull your transmission back out again, one of the biggest pains of getting your gear set out of your transmission case is the fact that race is on there, and that's a pressed on race, so you have to have the proper puller to get it off there. I've seen a lot of people try to use alternative routes like a cut wheel and a die grinder and they end up cutting into the main shaft itself, which now you're in for a little more money. With the high torque bearing kit, you don't have to worry about that because this is a one-piece bearing. There is no race. You just eliminate the race altogether, and you can just unbolt your trap door and slide the gear set out with no problems whatsoever of having to remove that race. Now, there's also the case where sometimes the race walks in, doesn't quite make it to the main drive gear seal, but it doesn't leave enough room for you to get a puller behind the race. James, what do you do about it then?
That's a tricky one.
I know it is. That's why I'm asking the tricky guy.
We looked at it and we scratched our heads and we came up with a pretty cool fix on the road because we do these installs at Sturgis and Daytona.
Yes, we do.
The high torque bearing kit is a no-brainer for us. We do one with every install. So we had the situation where it had walked in. We said, you can actually remove the transmission top. It's recommended that you remove the drum and forks. You can loosen the nut on the main shaft that's under the transmission side cover on the right side. Give the main shaft a little tap. That'll usually scooch things over just a little bit, just enough to get that puller behind that race and pull it out.
And you're serious when you say a little tap. You want to use a plastic dead blow type mallet, correct? I mean, you don't want to be hammering on it with a steel hammer.
Preferably, you really don't want to mushroom the end. That wouldn't be too nice.
Right. And then you screw up the threads, and your nylock nut will not like to go back on afterwards. And replace those nylock nuts too. What are they, a quarter a piece or something like that? You don't want to reuse a nylock, correct?
That is correct. I mean, if you're in a situation like we said, you're fixing it on the road or something, do yourself a favor, at least a few drops of Loctite on it.
Something. Don't go dry, as they would say.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean.
All right, folks, we got a couple more minutes left before we bring on Gerry from Gerry's Bakery in Germany. The call-in number is 617-381-4700. And if you're listening to us tonight, you're doing it one of two ways. You're either going through InternetRadioAmerica.com, or you've downloaded the Live 365 app, which I have and I enjoy very much. It's the easy way to get to the program with your Android or iPhone. One of the biggest questions when we post this on Facebook about, hey, I've got the Live 65 app, how do I find your station? Because there are a lot of stations on there, music stations, talk stations, so on and so forth. And the coolest part about all that is it's free. It's a free radio station. But go to your search. Just simply type in America, and Internet Radio America will be one of the first that pops up. All right, are we ready to bring Gerry on? Gerry, are you ready, buddy? All right. Come on in. This is Gerry from Gerry's Bakery in Germany. Let me give you a little bit of background before we dive into the questions with Gerry. Gerry is a huge fan, number one, of Baker Drivetrain.
For sure. And
not only does he use our products, he promotes them in a way that we haven't seen very many dealers do. The logo itself is Gerry's Bakery, but Baker is spelled out just as it is from our logo, and then with a little lowercase y that's a little bit bigger than Baker itself. He is a dealer, he is a fan, and a great self-promoter. And a lot of people would say, "Hey, look, Gerry's Bakery in Germany. That must be, Baker's place in Germany, But not the case. Gerry did all this on his own. And discuss a little bit about what you do, Gerry, over there in Germany with Gerry's Bakery.
Yeah, hi, Mark. Thanks for having me at the show.
Not a problem, man.
Yeah, happy to be here.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, I'm selling baker products over there in Europe, mainly Germany for the moment, and I'm here now for little tech training to be even better in servicing the stuff, and
that's a big part of why you're here is that we don't have a lot of per se service centers in Europe, and we want to be able to service the customers in Europe, because one of the biggest problems with even though we have a great warranty, a 5-year 50,000 mile warranty with all of our transmissions and gear sets, it's very expensive to ship these things back and forth from Europe to America. And one of the biggest reasons Gerry's here taking in-house training is that we want to be able, when somebody calls us anywhere in Europe, to say, you know what, rather than send the transmission back to us, let Gerry take a look at it first.
Yep, exactly.
And Gerry is being trained in installation and removal of all the transmission units, right side drive, left side drive, whether it be OD6, DD6. You've had quite a bit of training, right? Elaborate a little bit about the different models you've experienced so far this week.
Yeah, sure. I done all the big dog servicing stuff and all the products you just mentioned. I think I'm ready to get this rolling in Europe.
Ready for the big time, right?
Yeah, sure. Even though I hope it won't be too many broken products for sure that will come in, but I'm dealing those products now for around about 3 weeks, 3 years, and I never had somebody complaining about any quality issue or something. Just fine.
Well, we try. We don't build them to break, but they are mechanical, and it happens.
Yeah, sure.
And it's very good for us to know that we got you over there, and that we can depend on you when there's nobody else around.
Yeah, thanks.
Another big reason, or another cool thing that may come from all of this is, as Bert mentioned here a couple of weeks ago, we have a automatic transmission coming out. This is not going to be a simple install. This is not going to be something that Joe in his garage is going to be able to tackle. You're going to need to be factory trained to get this done. And we're hoping to get you back at some point to get this training once we've got it all up and running. And you will be one of the premier install centers that we're going to need in the world to get these automatics in folks' bikes. That's something you're excited about?
Yeah, yes I am. Just let me know when it's ready to go, and I'm on my way.
You'll be back.
Yeah, sure.
Good.
Really enjoy the time here.
Gerry, talk a little bit about the differences in the motorcycle world between here in America or Germany. And maybe it's not differences. Are there a lot of similarities between the two?
Well, I haven't attracted too many shows here, or attended too many shows here, but I think it's little smaller, the scene all over.
Okay.
But somehow people are taking it the same way, and yeah.
Does the clothing and the apparel seem to match from America to Germany? Are there a lot of leather-clad bikers over there? Or is it just kind of a mix of whatever you wear is whatever you wear?
Yeah, sure. It's the same style all over.
Okay, awesome. A lot of old bikes over there, new bikes. They're again a mix of the two.
Yeah, it's a mix. So actually, my roots are more in the old stuff. Like I run the website shovel-head.com. It's like the pre-Evo water hole on the internet.
Gotcha.
I run an annual show or an annual run over there. It's called the pre-Evo party. So it's a run only for old bikes up to 84. So everything else has to stay outside. Sorry for those folks.
Right.
A lot of discussions every year about that, but it's just the way it is. And there are between or around about 500 old bikes at the place. Everything from flathead up to shovelhead, and so
nice.
that's where my roots are.
Nice. And speaking of your website, can you hand that out to the listeners so the folks playing along can go to shovelhead.com?
Yeah, sure.
Spell it out for them.
It's shovel, like the shovel, SHOVEL -HEAD.com.
Nice. And you can also get Gerry at Gerry's Bakery on Facebook.
Yep.
And Gerry's Bakery on Facebook, Gerry in America, most of you are going to think is spelled Gary, not
G-E.
Not in this Gerry's case. This Gerry is Gerry, and then the apostrophe S, and then Bakery, just as it would be spelled here in America.
Yep.
Shovelhead.com, you've had that up and running for how long now?
Well, it's now into its 13th year.
Nice.
Pretty long time.
I would say so.
Yeah, and that pre-Evo party is had its 10th anniversary last year, so I'm up in that quite a while now.
You're no stranger to the motorcycle world business or any end of it. Another great point about Gerry being in Europe is there are dealers all across the world, whether it be a Harley Davidson dealer or an independent shop. Wait, before I go into that, do you have a lot of independent shops in Germany as opposed to Harley Davidson dealerships?
Yeah, we have. It's they're popping out. Every city has somehow a bunch of independent shops, but getting tougher for those guys too.
Well, the strong hang on, and the weak fall by the wayside. And you're strong. You're a strong self promoter, and you're a great promoter of us. And you've done a great thing. Noticing going to shovelhead.com, bikes are not all you do. There's a truck that you've delved into, right? An American-made truck, by the way.
Sure. My old rusty '94 GMC K1500 pickup truck. It's a little restoration project.
A little one. You had two trucks that you're making into one.
Actually, my own one was in that bad shape that I was searching for some parts donator or something, and I found a pretty good deal on a truck that was in good shape regarding all the body parts. So we're now in the progress of making one out of two.
Nice. Well, things rust out, and you have salt and snow and the same things we have here in Michigan and Germany, the same crappy weather as we would like to put it as bikers. There's not only do we have our first European guest on the radio show, Matt Graerbrile, who is also a salesman here at Baker Drivetrain, is he's going to make his radio debut. Matt, you got a couple questions for him? And, hey, take the headphones, bro.
Yeah, glad to be here. Gerry, we've been doing business for, 3 years now?
Yeah, around about 3 years.
And initially it started off with you doing an install. You did a 6 and 4 in your bike, the Mighty Shovel.
Yep.
You want to kind of describe that project?
Yeah, we got hooked up something about that transmission, and I was interested to have one because going with 4 speeds on the autobahn is not the most comfortable way to travel, and I was suffering on that for about almost 10 years with that bike, and it was time for something bigger. So 6 and 4 was the deal, and I did an install report on my website, like a product feature, and initially the idea was not to become a Baker dealer when I ordered that transmission. It was just for my own sake, and through that report, people came through that website questioning if they could order that stuff directly from me, and why not?
Yeah.
So the rest is history.
Well, that's kind of funny because actually today we had a call come into the shop, and the gentleman said, I just bought this 6 and 4, and I'm getting ready to install it. And I read the report on shovelhead.com, and
That's cool.
It taught me that I can actually do this myself. I can do this install. So he felt the confidence after reading your report to do it. And I said, well, you're not going to believe this, but actually the owner of that site and the gentleman who did that report is standing right in front of me in the office. So it was kind of neat. I told Gerry he's got a fan in
really
America.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, small world. Small world.
So yeah, it's cool. But back to back to the forum, because the forum is really neat, because that's really a community that you've created where people can go to get answers to some very technical questions. How many users, how many active people do you have on that site right now?
It's registered users on that forum are about 1,500 that are really more or less active and posting their stuff, and it's a whole community that formed around that website. So we do all that tech stuff there, and we have like reports about shows and traveling, and we got something called Pre-Evo Sundays. It's something like a local meeting on a Sunday, easy meeting for drinking coffee, local guys meeting, and they just used to announce the date and when and where they want to gather, and we formed a pretty good community on that.
Mm-hmm. Now you have really two sites as well. I want to touch on that because you have the German language site, and then you also have the English site. Yeah. So if you want to visit that site from here, you can get the English version as well.
Yeah, sure. There's a language selector on the index page, and just choose your language and off we go.
I can go.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned shows. What shows have you been at? What expo shows have you been to this year?
I've been to Super Rally last year. It has been it's one of Europe's biggest shows. Mm-hmm. It's traveling every year to another European country, and since I think 30 years, it has been first time that it has been happening in Germany. Last year, so I was attending there and showing the Baker products and advertising myself. And in December we ran the Custom Bike Expo. It's probably Europe's biggest custom bike show in winters, indoor. Also, have had my show there with the Baker booth or my booth showing the Baker products. Yeah, stuff like that. Traveling around and. Yeah, trying to do
preaching
some business.
The gospel.
Yeah, exactly.
The gospel of bird.
Even though it's pretty well known, that gospel. So I noticed that it's not too much work I have to do. Most people really know about the great quality and the products themselves.
Well, man, we really appreciate you preaching that, and again we have funded no part of Gerry's bakery. Gerry has done this all on his own in support of Baker Drivetrain and an American-made product, and doing it in Germany is American-made products in quality really that important in Germany as it is here in America?
Well, it's about the quality and innovation. I mean, it's
doesn't matter where it comes from. It's the matter of the quality.
I mean, having it done in America is sure a sign of quality. I mean, if we had the idea, we would have made it in Germany. But no. Let's say having it made in America is not a good, not a valid argument to sell the stuff in Germany. It's
Okay.
Because nobody will understand why should I support America? In that important way that it is here. We are about the innovation and the quality, and that's just the Baker brand.
Well, thank you, man. We greatly appreciate that. We greatly appreciate your support. We got to get out for a break. Touching base one more time, it's the that's shovel-head.com.
Yep.
As well as you can get to Gerry's Bakery. That's GERRYS Bakery on Facebook. And again, we can get to your website in English or in German.
Yep.
And Gerry, thanks for flying all this way.
Thanks for having me here. We have a good time here.
We didn't plan on doing just the radio show. We planned on the training, but the radio show come about, and you were willing to do it, and I thank you, man.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, folks, we got to get out for a short commercial break. We'll be right back, and this is the Two-Wheel Meltdown.
This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Pointer Brand. Pointer Brand jeans, made in America, 100 years in business. Go to pointerbrand.com.
Attention all animal lovers. This is Cynthia Gerry, the inventor of Scratch and All. We know all animals love to scratch. Scratch and All is a safe, unique, American-made animal enrichment product that can be mounted flat on a wall or bent over corners. All four sides interlock so you can design a grid tailored specifically to your animal's needs, and it can be a supplement to acupressure. Go to scratchandall.com and take advantage of the celebration bundle. Nearly 11,000 sold. That's the word scratch, the letter N as in Nancy, ALL.com, or call 1-888-9-SCRATCH.
Can't seem to find the right size wrench? Are you tired of searching for the right tool? Introducing the Loggerhead Bionic Wrench. It's 14 wrenches in one. Any size, just squeeze and turn. The patented design produces a powerful mechanical advantage. Pliers and adjustable wrenches can strip the corners, but that won't stop the Bionic because it grips on all 6 sides. Simply squeeze and turn. American made and a proven winner. No more guessing. Easy to use. Adjusts like a pliers. The Bionic wrench is 14 wrenches in one. Everyone needs one. At home or on the road. With the patented gripping power, the Bionic grips them all. It's a gripping experience. Thousands of uses for the Bionic wrench. Makes a great gift for everyone on your holiday list. 100% American made. Lifetime guarantee.
Leaders in Internet media and the American-made movement. You're listening to Internet Radio America. Let's get back to the Two-Wheel Meltdown on Internet Radio America. Take it away, Mark.
Thank you, Frank. We are back on the Two-Wheel Meltdown. We've actually got a full house tonight. Bert Baker has stepped into the office. We've got Matt, Gerry from Gerry's Bakery. James just stepped out. We got to tell him to get his butt back in here and continue on with the show. All right, folks, we've got our product. Our product of the week is the Tin-Type Primary. Is that a caller calling in? No, that's just Frank. All right. The Tin-Type Primary. This primary was modeled after the Panhead tin primary, actually made out of tin. The biggest problem with these primaries was the flat out the leaking issue. All Harley Davidsons leaked from the beginning all the way through the shovel head eras. But the primary could be extra problematic because it was made of tin, and you got to take it off. You got to replace gaskets. You got to check your chain tension, and eventually, man, the thing is going to get bent and warped out of shape. So what we did was took the model of the tin type primary and made it out of billet aluminum. You're not going to get any leaks this time around. And this thing is it's so close to the original shape and form and look that you can put it on a shovel head bike and make it look very classic. We are going to eventually, the fitment for these is 70 to early 84 as of right now. We are going to eventually get to the pan head era and retrofit it back there. We've got a lot going on. This is not on the top of the engineer's list, but it is going to happen. Folks, for your custom builds right now, though, from 70 to early 84, we can give you a tin type primary, all billet aluminum, that you can either do with or without an electric start. Now, this is a bonus in the fact that we have set this thing up so that you can use it with a modern starter, an Evil style starter, 1.5 kilowatt starter. And we know the problems that have happened with the old style starters, but the fact that you can use a new one is a huge bonus with the tin type primary, and a lot more reliable. It's not going to leak, and it has the nostalgic look for a lot of the nostalgic builds. Even guys doing bobbers with shovel heads are liking this tin type, wouldn't you say, James?
Oh yeah, it's really well received. I mean, OCC has even used it in a couple of their recent builds.
Beautiful bikes too. The not just the fact that you can use a modern starter, but the guts of this thing. It's the chain tensioner. You can use a straight sprocket, correct?
Correct, and you can use a modern wet clutch. That's the real plus. If you're using a Baker 4-speed, you can order the 4-speed with the spline clutch. If you have your existing Harley-Davidson 4-speed, you can put our spline shaft in there, and you can put our spline shovelhead wet clutch. So then you have the best of all worlds. You know, you got a diaphragm-style clutch with a nice kind of breakover feel with that 2-finger pull and sealed up. You're not recirculating all that junk in and out of your engine like the old shovels would do, you know.
So there you go. You can fit this with a modern style clutch, a modern style starter. It's not going to leak, and it looks very close. It's not identical, but very close to the old tin type primary.
It's a dead ringer to me for a 36 to 64 tin type. It's pretty good.
And you are the 4-speed guy, man. I mean, that's what you grew up on, correct?
Yeah. Unfortunately, man, I'm old, but I dig the old stuff, you know.
We all do. It's nostalgic, man.
You can't say enough about converting to a modern starter, though. You know, the early 4-speed setup is just a hodgepodge of a Delco solenoid and this plunger and this spring and this fork and all these parts, and it would kind of get stuck and run and sometimes start smoking, start on fire. So, and there's nothing like a modern starter on an old bike.
Yeah, and then the fire kind of spilled over to the leaking oil that was coming off of it. And next thing you know, the whole bike is on fire. Oh, how did you guys do it back then? I mean, how'd you ride them damn shovels, man?
Old bikes were adventure, man. Anybody that rode an old bike could work on their bike. It wasn't, well, not going to badmouth riders or bikes today either. I mean, everybody's in it for a different kind of experience.
Right.
But let's say a lot more people were working on their own bikes. I mean, you had to, you were riding something that was it was not if it was going to fail, it was when.
When. Yeah, the toolkits may have or may be a thing of the past for a lot of riders, but they weren't for folks back then. You had to have your toolkit, and you had to make sure that you had some baling wire and
yeah, a little baling wire, a little duct tape, a couple of tie wraps. You're good.
Yeah, and hopefully you're at least close to a gas station where you can pull into the parking lot with your unreliable bike and fix it there, as opposed to on the side of a dirt road in the middle of nowhere. But it happens. getting back to that, those are some of the adventurous stories that we'd like to hear from callers. Again, the question of the day is the longest trip you've ever made, and not only the longest trip, what kind of bike were you riding at that point in time? Because I know there's some graybeards out there listening, and they've got some stories to tell. So please give us a call, folks, if you're listening. 617-381-4700. And as always, you can get a hold of us here at Baker Drivetrain during normal working hours, 8 to 8, at 1-877-640-2004. And we have officially gotten every sales guy on the radio tonight. You've heard from James, you've heard from myself, and you've heard from Scott. And Matt, who's back at work now on the computer, staying late, is... You've gotten to hear from him as well. So you know us all. You've heard us all. You can give us a call. Again, 1-877-640-2004. James, anything else to add about the TTP? And besides the look, besides the functionality, can folks build confidence with this? I mean, can you take a soft tail frame and maybe an S&S motor and make this thing work?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have guys doing that. People love the look of this primary so much, they're actually kind of going backwards, so to speak. We have some guys with soft tails, which is a 5-speed based bike, and converting it to a conversion plate to put a 4-speed in that frame, and actually using our 6 and 4 and tin type primary in a newer bike just for the look. I mean, it's that good. Just
to get the nostalgic look. Hey, here's your Evo Softail, and oh look, I've got a kicker. Oh look, I've got a 6 and 4. Oh look, I've got the Baker tin type primary. Should I do it to mine?
I think you might be a little hard on yourself, Mark. I don't know.
Well, the Fat Boy is fine by itself. It is probably time for me to pick up a frame, a motor, and get to work on my own build. Speaking of builds in wintertime, and we all got our bikes down or stored, it's going to be about 50 degrees. Is yours all torn apart, or can you ride?
Well, my dresser always runs. My other bike is off the road, but, speaking about projects, we need to give you an update on Bert's organ donor project.
Oh, definitely. Good call, man.
It is coming great. I just finished putting the top end on the motor this morning, and they were doing a bracket tab.
It's moving along quickly. We hope to have it done soon. Folks, we got to get out for a break, and we'll be right back. Roke should be calling in about 3 minutes or so. Be right back with the two-wheel meltdown.
Leaders in Internet media and the American-made movement. You're listening to Internet Radio America. Tuesday on Internet Radio America, it's Beans and Apples. Sax and Rowdy in the house to talk about New York and Boston. It's the sports. It's the culture. It's the fans. Beans and Apples, a special sports talk show between New York and Boston. 8 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday nights on Internet Radio America.
Can't seem to find the right size wrench? Are you tired of searching for the right tool? Introducing the Loggerhead Bionic Wrench. It's 14 wrenches in one. Any size, just squeeze and turn. The patented design produces a powerful mechanical advantage. Pliers and adjustable wrenches can strip the corners, but that won't stop the Bionic because it grips on all 6 sides. Simply squeeze and turn. American made and a proven winner. No more guessing. Easy to use. Adjusts like a pliers. The Bionic wrench is 14 wrenches in one. Everyone needs one. at home or on the road. With the patented gripping power, the Bionic grips them all. It's a gripping experience. Thousands of uses for the Bionic wrench. Makes a great gift for everyone on your holiday list. 100% American made. Lifetime guarantee.
This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Fuller's Sugar House. Maple syrup, maple candy, and gifts. Go to FullerSugarHouse.com. 100% American made. Leaders in Internet media and the American made movement. You're listening to Internet Radio America. Two-Wheel Meltdown continues on Internet Radio America with Mark Pavlica.
Yep. The Live 365 app, which I use on your iPhone or Android. And we should have Rogue calling in shortly. We touched on
Rogue is on the phone.
Oh, Rogue is on the phone. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing fine. Just listening to your commercials. Sounded good.
Nice. Rogue, this is a motorcycle-based show, and it's an American-made based show. But a lot of our listeners out there are not in the motorcycle industry. Can you give us a kind of a brief overview of what you do in this industry?
Pardon?
Can you give us a brief interview
of what?
Rogue, let us know about what you do in this industry. We know you're a photographer and you do a lot of traveling. Just let our listeners know what you're all about, man.
I don't know. We can do that and stay out of jail. But basically, I ride a motorcycle. I have fun at it. I've been doing it a long time. I pay for my habit by working on motorcycles and photojournalism, product testing, things like that. It's just a part of my lifestyle. I have fun doing it. I'm getting ready to do a tech article on zippers, red line cams, and their chain tensioner. And once I get that done, I will be hopefully ready for the V-Twin Expo in Cincinnati.
Which is coming up quicker than we think. It always seems to sneak up.
Yeah, it's the beginning of February. They switched it up a little bit this year, which is, according to the people that I talked to, that work schedules and getting back to shops and all the rest of that. The people like Jim Betlatch, I think he's a really good person for doing that type of show. And he checks with people and go, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to change? And he adjusts to the vendors and then, of course, to the dealers and shop owners that show up. And I like it because I get to see a lot of the people that I do business with during the year. Talking on the phone's fine, but just get to hang out and shake a hand or give somebody a hug. It's sort of nicer.
Yeah, it's a big deal for us too. I mean, it's one thing to show off your new product or whatever you have, but it's also the first time in the new year that we get to really see the rest of the people in the industry face to face, and we definitely do enjoy it. And in this industry, Rogue, you've been around for a while, man. When did you start riding?
Oh, well, I've been riding 61 years now. I started when I was 14. I don't know exactly what the math would be, but I'm 75 years old. I still ride 25,000, 30,000 miles a year. I've gotten a bit late and got me a little old rocking chair FLA HTC. My excuse is my camera equipment doesn't like some of the rigid frames and stuff that I used to ride. And actually, I like the motorcycle. I can put down 1,000 miles a day and, still go party a little bit instead of going in the room moaning and groaning. And of course, I have Baker parts. Okay. Actually, I own two FLCCs, but 2004 to 2009, and different Baker products on both of them. Different exhaust system, tuners, stuff. That's the nice part because I get to put some miles on going to these different shows and events. And no, I will not be riding this Cincy. But otherwise, it's I have to put miles on stuff, and it helps the manufacturers. Okay, go out and see if you can break it, or let me see what the wear pattern on it is, and we use that to tweak stuff. I have a Baker 6-speed reverse in my 2009.
Yes, you do.
And the issue was exhaust systems, and I worked with James, and we said, okay, here's the issue, because in the swing arm being fatter, there really wasn't an exhaust system out, so we put one on. It worked really good. And then, as I was talking with Zippers, you want to try a set of duals? So Teddy Price from Samson came out with a true dual system, which we put on it. So for the people that want to put it reversed, I mean, the guys got it down on in the up to 2008. A bunch of exhaust systems fit, and once they went to the fat frame, the tranny worked perfect. It was just which set of exhaust pipes to use, and we were lucky to try a couple, and so now that's available. I like the tranny, especially living in Florida. Sugar sand, all that kind of stuff. So if I get in a little touchy situation, I can just back out of it. And we're looking at some of the things for just some of the guys my age just don't have the strength, or maybe got a bad leg or something and can't really push the motorcycles back. So
exactly,
we were looking at how this would help them. And it's something I've really enjoyed doing. It gives me some really nice American-made products to try. And also, let's the riders out there, somebody that may be going, gee, I want to buy something. I just really don't know. So we'll use the bikernet.com and some of the publications I'm a contributor to Paisano and Easy Riders. And also a couple of the others, so we try to get word out to people that, hey, what I tried, it worked for me. If you're interested, we'll just tell you how to put it out. We'll work out all the problems for you. Just grab a wrench and bolt it out.
You have definitely been a supporter of Baker Drivetrain. There's no doubt about that. You use our products, and we greatly appreciate that, Rogue.
Well, I use your products because they're good. Okay, if they were, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But that's one of the things. Well, you're subtle. Well, I mean, what I'm doing is, all these years I've been doing this. If I was to endorse a product that really didn't deserve it, all of the things that I stood for all these years would go down the drain. So,
wouldn't mean.
Good.
Exactly. What you've done over the years wouldn't mean anything if you're endorsing something that you truly don't believe in. And which brings me to my next point, Rogue. We appreciate you using Baker stuff, but what does the American-made tag mean to you? The fact that it's manufactured, made, and distributed right here in this country.
Well, my logic is that keeping the money rolling. right? I mean, I'm going to use something. I'm going to make some money off it. I pass that on to other people that are making money, and I'm looking at, the new generation maker, I guess is what's being called, or the Limnick Elot people and some of the others, and the things that they're doing. And I look back to like it was in the 70s when I was their age and we were making stuff, and there was a lot of pride put into it, and I really don't know what happened. Industry people got in it that were just make a buck, and stuff got started to be shipped all over the place. And as we get these things and start to put them together, they didn't fit. So you had to be a really good mechanic to make this thing fit into what it was. And what I'm seeing with American-made products, that you buy the thing, okay, that's somebody that's living here in this country has earned income. They're going out buying groceries and other things that make the job for other people. And somebody like me or one of the guys in the shop that ends up with this thing, it fits. It don't take rocket science or years of rubbing and honing on this thing to make it go in there. It worked for me back in the 70s. I worked in a steel mill, and I got to appreciate what this type of work was and looking at quality. And then I started seeing some things, and you can save a bucket. I got to laugh because I got a good friend of mine, and he's kind of frugal. But we had I've been telling him for a couple of years that he's been using these parts. But my God, I said, look, if you buy the good part, you'd only put this thing in once. Now, over the past 3 or 4 years, we've replaced this part a couple of times until he finally went with American-made part. And we're good to go. These are things that just happen, and we look at people. Well, it's cheap. Well,
right.
It's cheap. You can leave the off it. My own personal thing is if I need something or want something, and I have something that I'm looking at right now, I don't have the money. Okay, so let me put X amount of dollars away every week, month, until I have enough, and I'm going to go buy the good thing. Motorcycles, but I don't really like working on them for no reason.
Right.
I mean, unless just when it touches something. So I've found out through all of these years of doing this, I'm better off buying the good quality product and doing the job once. And I'm finding those good products being made in America. And that's me. That's my opinion.
Yeah, we try like heck to make it right the first time and make it fit the first time, and I'm glad you're a supporter of the same thing. To buy a foreign-made product or any non-quality made product and have to change it out 3 times, like you said, that's.
Well, some people learn the hard way, and I'm going to say I probably did too. In my younger years, not knowing, I'd like to think with as many years as I've been doing this, to go, that worked. We're going to do that again. Well, that wasn't too cool. I hope nobody saw that. We're not going to do that no more. So you sort of learn by experience. And this has been my experience, that American-made parts have worked for me. Okay, they work better than the other options. And I'm going to continue to do that.
We don't have much time left, but I've got James Simonelli here with me, Rogue. James, you got any questions for Rogue before we let him go, bud?
How are you, Rogue? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm getting ready to see you in Cincy.
Yeah, for sure.
I got all my ducks in a row. I got my tickets in hotel, and yesterday, the plane ticket. So we're supposed to go.
Product show in there. You'll like. How's that attitude adjuster working out for you?
Working great. As a matter of fact, we used it on BikerNet, and I've been talking to John Sullivan over at Bagger Magazine, and he's going to run it in Rhode Iron coming up pretty quick. And of course, whenever I put something in like this, I tell my local shop, hey, here's what I'm trying out now or working. And, they give me feedback, too. They come up with, we've been changing this primary bearing a lot. And we go, we haven't changed the freaking primary bearing in 20 years. I don't remember the last time I changed one other than the thing was apart. And now we see this happening. What could it be? Okay, well, process of elimination, and the most likely is that chain being too tight.
That doesn't
and
scientists to figure, huh?
So we put that adjuster in. It solves it. And I did have a little downshift line. Got it all going. The thing's working great. So we're putting miles on it. And the thing I'm looking at is, what if I got to go in and adjust the chain? Well, I'm not remembering how often do you got to go in and adjust the primary chain. I probably check it. Okay. Just because it's part of my maintenance thing, I'm telling a lot of people, and a couple of my shops here in the area are going, but that makes sense, man. I'm going to tell some of my guys. Well, it depends if you're looking to get work from them for this, or if you want to take care of your customer. No. We would rather tell them before they have the failure, and then the customer appreciates it, and he still comes back and he has his money to spend on other things. So these are some of the shops in my area looking out for the customer. And when they rely on me a little bit, because I get to try something. They got everybody and their brother trying to, oh, yeah, man, you need to try this. This works really great. Rob, you got this on your bike? Yeah, good. Then I should buy it, right? Yeah. Okay. So it all goes around. Actually, it's all of us helping each other.
Definitely.
And it's sort of working. So I don't know about anybody else, but I don't plan to change it. If this thing is working, let's not mess with it. Unless you can come up with something to make it better, and then we'll look at it. And I think we got a lot of people in the industry, good, reputable people working to make it better for everybody, from the person that buys a motorcycle, does not know much about it as they maybe want to educate some of the shops, and okay, here, it's working out. How do you keep your customers? You keep your customers by being informed and say, hey, here's a new thing out on the market. You might consider this. It will stop this from happening down the road. The customer appreciates it. The shop gets more business. And everybody's happy. So,
taking care of them, taking care of the customer. That's exactly right.
That's who's paying the bills. When we look at it, if we're not doing, you can bullshit some of the people some of the time, but it goes back to bite you on the butt. Okay, and by being upfront and honest with these people, then they learn to respect you, and they will come to you and go, I have this issue. We didn't think about it. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I should have told you about that before. So it's being straightforward with people. Say, hey, we got this, or we're working on this. We're hoping to have answers to that pretty soon. And people appreciate this. They appreciate this honesty. And it's gonna keep us all working when the other guys aren't.
Thank you for coming on, and we want to get you back on again, and we appreciate
I like talking to you guys, so anytime, most of the time I can break free, and my life ain't that hectic, so I'll see you and everybody else that's going to the expo, and be safe getting there, and we'll have a good time.
This has been another edition of the Two-Wheel Meltdown. James, thank you. Gary, thank you. Matt, thank you. And we love you all. God bless, and keep that damn motorcycle up the right way.